You're listening to Real
It's
Estate
time
101.
for Real Estate
I'm Karey
101
Brown, broker
with the
owner
Karey
of
Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred
here in
Advisors.
Topeka. And today I'm here with Chris Grandmontagne. She is the owner of Warehouse 414. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hi, Karey. I'm great.
So we're going to be asking her a lot of questions about her store, and it looks like there is a lot of great information here. So your site is 13,000 square feet of all kinds of vintage furnishings, and
Yes, ma'am.
So-
We sell vintage furniture and home accessories, and we're an art gallery. So we've been doing this. Well, we've been in that location at Warehouse 414. We've been there for 10 years, but we've been in business since 1989.
and you're located at 414 Southeast 2nd Street here in Topeka, right?
Correct.
And the phone number there, if you would like to call, is 785-232-8008. Tell me about your hours.
We're open on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 11 to 5:30. And then we also are on the First Friday Art Walk. So if you get out and about on First Friday to do the Art Walk, we're open from 5:30 to 8:30 on every first Friday.
So I understand in the past, 20 years you've been doing the ERC house?
Oh, yes. This is the first year. This is only the second time in 24 years that I haven't done the show house, but it's a great show house this year, and it's going on right now. So you do need to get out and see it, but you won't see our work. You'll see some things from our shop because a couple of the other designers have borrowed furniture and accessories and things to have at the show house this year out of Warehouse 414. But as Grandmontagne Designs, we didn't do a room this year.
So tell me about that process. What's it like doing the ERC house?
Oh, it's wonderful. We each designer submits a design board to with their ideas of what they would do in a particular room, and then the design committee reviews that board with those ideas. I mean, we select paint colors or wallpapers or furniture ideas, lighting ideas, things that we would want to do in whatever space it is that we're attracted to, and submit that, and then they choose the designer for each room, who then does that room, and then the house is on tour after the completion of the remodel, so to speak.
Wow, that sounds really neat. So do you do that for individuals also, like as a regular thing?
Oh, I'm an interior designer, so
Okay.
yes. I do all kinds of design. I think that people get a little used to the fact that when they see my work at the designer show house, I get to do more at a designer show house of what my personal style would be. So that's kind of a luxury to get to show that off. But for an individual, I do all styles, all design styles. So I'm not quite as funky with everybody else's home. You know, when I first started in the business, a designer that had been in the business for a long time told me one time, she said, you know that when you're working on someone else's house, it needs to welcome them home, not you. And that's really always stuck with me always, that I need to make sure that whatever design I do for a customer reflects their personality.
So say one of our clients wanted to have you come out and help them get their house ready to market. What do you do? Anything consultations like that, or how would you say that you do those things?
I haven't done many of homes when someone's getting ready to sell it, as much as I'm usually called in right after they've purchased a new home.
And that would make sense.
and,
if they're going to spend the money, they're going to do it and enjoy it.
Right. And, you know, when they purchase a new home, I encourage them to live there a little while before they make big changes, because sometimes the things you think you want to do when you first see a home are not necessarily the things that you really wind up wanting to do. So I really do encourage them to live there for a little while. And I do go in and help them place their existing furniture and make a full plan of what they want, what they are going to want to do. We don't have to do everything all at one time. I mean, we can do it a room at a time. We can do it a process at a time. But I think that it's wise to move a little slower than to just go in and start knocking walls out or whatever. And we do everything. We do everything from just hanging art to knocking out walls and building a whole addition.
Oh, wow.
We design kitchens, we design bathrooms. I can buy carpet for you, or I can make window treatments, have window treatments made for you, just upholster existing furniture. I mean, it's whatever needs to be done, we can do that. It's not too big and it's not too small, whatever.
So do you have flat rate consultation fees, or is it job by job?
It's usually better to consult with the customer first, but we do charge by the hour, and we do charge $125 an hour for our time, and then we charge 20% over our cost of things that we would purchase or arrange for a client.
Okay.
And sometimes when the project is huge, we adjust, or we'll talk about a job price rather than the per hour and the 20%. But normally that works pretty good for everybody, for all concerned. I used to, when I first went into business, I didn't charge by the hour, but I found that wasn't fair to the client, and it wasn't fair to me, because if I didn't charge by the hour, the only way for me to make any income was to sell them something. And maybe I don't need to sell them anything. Maybe the walls colors are perfect in their house, or maybe the carpet is great. Maybe they don't need any new furniture. Maybe it just needs to be rearranged or something done with it. And if I relied on selling them something, then I was constantly trying to get them to buy something rather than just utilizing their existing things. So, and then if I didn't charge by the hour and I went in and did a whole bunch of stuff and didn't get to sell them something, then I was cheating myself as well. So I just think it's better for the person all the way around.
It makes perfect sense. So as far as housewarming goes, things along those lines.
Oh, Warehouse 414 has lots of things that you could come and get for that. I love vintage items, and I love art. And so our place is just full of wonderful, fun vintage pieces, and then a lot of local and regional artists' work. We have gourds right now by Angela Lexow. They're art gourds, and they're just beautiful, where she takes a gourd and you would swear it's a piece of pottery by the time she is finished with it. And her two-dimensional art is hanging up on the wall right now. It's called Poetry to Art. Yes, Poetry to Art. I almost thought I said it backwards. where she has a poem, and we have the poem posted that inspired the piece of artwork that she did. So it's really a great show. And then I have lots of jewelry. Mostly, I have a lot of vintage jewelry, but then mostly local artists that have made jewelry that I have in the shop as well. So it's not just furniture and home accessories. I do have some personal items there.
And with 13,000 square foot, wow,
that's a lot.
If you can't find something you like there, I don't know if you can be pleased.
Great lamps. Great lamps, and we have a lot of lighting. So, and I feel like that's one of the main things that a new homeowner usually likes to do is change the lighting out in a new house, and we have lots of wonderful vintage lighting.
So tell me again, you have the Poetry to Art show going on right now? Right now,
yes, Poetry to Art by Angela Lexow, and it's up through May 14th. And then that comes down, and then we have a call for art out right now for our next show, which will be up in June and July, and that's called Bold and Bright. And so by saying a call for art, we're asking artists to submit work to us, and then it's a juried show, so we have 3 judges that will judge that work, and not all the work will make it to the show, but most of it, and we're offering cash prizes because there's an entry fee. If they enter by the 10th of May, it's $20 for the first entry and $12 for the next 3 entries each. And then if they wait till after the 10th to the 16th, which is our final deadline, it's $25 for the first entry and $15 for each additional entry. And of course, the work just needs to be bold or bright. So
I know Jen was talking about Jennifer Hall that works for us. If you didn't know, that she is incredibly talented.
She is. And I do have Jen's jewelry at the shop too.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that. We call her MacGyver around our office because there really isn't anything she can't do. She even fixes things. So I
believe she's going to be entering some pieces, I hope.
I saw a rose that she had done that she was thinking about doing, and it was gorgeous.
I'm excited to see them.
Yep, she's very talented.
You can find that information on our website, which is www.warehouse414.com, and then go to exhibits. Click on the link and it'll take you to the entry form and everything. But also in exhibits gives all the information of all the art shows, the past and the upcoming. And then we also sell online, so you can see a lot of our the furniture and accessories and things that we do have in the shop.
That's amazing. I also noticed that you have an app, actually a feature on house.com.
I do.
So is that just a consultation type, not consultation, but an education where you put out there how you design, or?
No, you know what? That's just to show some of our projects. And I have to say that I haven't been as good at keeping up with the house site as I am my own website. So I need to add some new things to the house site, I think. But I do on our own website, I have an interior design section that shows a lot of the projects that we've done as well.
Which I think that's great. With house.com, I have a slight addiction to that website myself. But at least from there, they can click through and get to
my website. Yes.
Which is amazing. What do you find that are common mistakes that people make when they're decorating or designing?
As easy as it sounds to paint a wall, it's really not. You can really tell the difference between an amateur and a professional doing the painting job. And for what that costs, I sometimes think that people tend to do their own painting, and particularly of trim and that sort of thing. And it would be to their advantage to have a professional do it rather than a DIY.
I can vouch for that around our house. And we've definitely had houses that, we've put on the market that we've ended up having to have professionals come in and fix.
Right.
I personally have managed to touch the ceiling a few times painting around my house.
Yep, and I think it is one of the things that people just think that, I can paint a room, but it really does take some finesse.
Absolutely. I know that the people that came in and repainted our bedroom were like, "Wow, did you let your 12-year-old do this?" I'm like, no. It looks great now, just not before.
Good.
Also, what are just design ideas that you could share with new homeowners? Just suggestions.
Well, one of the simplest things is to use simple things from outside, bring outside in. Just branches, spring branches, for a bouquet, or pebbles in a bowl, or fruit from the store. Is always beautiful in a bowl, and those kind of things always bring a softness to a room. The nature brings a comfort and a softness to the room, and books. Always have some books.
I was recently in a house, and I just love how she did a lot of really cool things, but I I noticed that she just had a plain basket with pine cones.
Yes.
And like with candles, she would use like beans and things along those lines. And it really looked very neat. Natural
products. It gives a hominess, I think, and brings a air of outdoors in, for one thing, but just comfort. And a throw always feels like you could curl up on a sofa if there's a throw laying on the side of it or something.
So whenever you've designed homes, is there anyone particular that stood out that you just thought, wow, I've got to go home and do this to my house, or that you just loved?
Well, yes, we converted a Chinese laundry into a loft living space in San Francisco at one point during our career. And of course, everything I'm an industrial contemporary design person at heart for myself. So that one was really fun to work on and get to do some of the things that we did there in San Francisco. And of course, we got to live there for 3 months while we were working on it. So that was a plus too.
It's a bonus. So here locally, is there some place people besides the warehouse that they would be able to see work, or any public
places?
Gosh,
most all of our work is residential, so
no, not
it's
really.
kind of it's kind of hard to do that. If you remember, unfortunately, this we did the design in New City Cafe that was in Gage Shopping Center, but of course they've closed now after many years, so I can't send you there to have you look.
So in other words, you just need to hire her and have her come bring all of her expertise to your house, and then that way you'll have her original designs there.
And the original consultation is always at no cost. I always go talk to the client first before I ever charge for anything, because they don't know whether they want to use me, and I don't know whether I want to do that project. And we have a great design community here in Topeka, and I've even, after meeting with somebody, I've said, you know what, I don't think I'm the right person for you to be using, and I'll recommend someone else. And I've had other designers tell someone, you really ought to call Chris Grandmontagne. She's really the one you need to be talking with. So we do recommend each other, even if we're not the right person.
So when you say not necessarily the right person, is it more their design, you just can't, just don't feel comfortable doing their design? Yeah, maybe somebody that has more of a, I don't know how to say, but even personalities sometimes. Yeah. You really have to have a trust and a really good rapport with the person that's helping you with your design, because it's almost like a doctor patient relationship. I mean, we're in your most personal spaces to work with you, and so you really need to have somebody that you totally like to visit with and talk with and have over there, and you have to enjoy each other's company as well as be able to work together. I would imagine that would be a lot like listing your home. You want to be able to feel comfortable, of course, and know that you mesh, and you definitely need to trust who you work with. Yes, exactly. So. Okay. Well, we'll be right back after the break. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be right back with Chris Grandmontagne with Warehouse 414, and this is Karey Brown with Real Estate 101.
We've been angry.
We've been hurt. We've been lonely.
We've been pressured. We've been ashamed.
We've been miserable. We've been hopeless.
We've been lost.
We've been labeled.
We've been invisible.
We've been controlled.
We've been judged. If you're one of the more than 26 million teens living in the U.S. today, chances are you'll go through your share of tough times. Let's face it, being a teen isn't easy. We know because we've been there.
We've been accepted.
We've been supported. We've been confident.
We've been brave. Check out reachout.com to hear teens share their own stories on how they've made it through tough times. You might even find ways to deal with all you're dealing with. Because we've been there, we can help each other.
We've been inspired. We've been determined.
We've been acknowledged.
We've been given a chance.
We've been there.
We've been there.
We can help us.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Inspire USA Foundation, and the Ad Council.
They just told us right away that we're going to house you, we're going to feed you, and every single one of his medical bills is just all taken care of.
They've saved my family from financial ruin. It allowed me and my wife both to focus on the most important thing, which was the health and well-being of our son.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's been taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
This is Officer Mitch Soden with a safe driving tip from your Topeka Police Department. Your seatbelt serves many important functions. Cars are designed to crumple on impact, and the seatbelt will keep you restrained within the occupant area. The seatbelt is designed to absorb and dissipate forces through the large bone structures of the body through placement and stretching. Statistics show that those involved in collisions wearing seatbelts have faster recovery times and lower medical costs than those who don't. So please, buckle up.
This is Sergeant Colleen Stewart from your Topeka Police Department Crime Prevention Team. Spring is at your door, so are vacuums, alarm systems, magazine subscriptions, and fundraisers. Here's some information. Every peddler and solicitor is required to be licensed by the City of Topeka Clerk's Office, so ask for picture ID to confirm the name on the license. You have the right to see their license, and if they refuse, they can be ticketed. Make sure you call the police to report the incident. Sales are only allowed 1/2 hour before sunrise until 1/2 hour past sunset. Go to topeka.org to find out more. Together we can make Topeka the safest capital city in America.
We're back again with Chris Grandmontagne with Warehouse 414. This is Karey Brown, broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors here in Topeka. And Chris is located at 414 Southeast 2nd Street in Topeka, and you have got to go by her store. It is 13,000 square feet of high-style vintage furnishings, home decor, art, painting, jewelry.
Yes, everything. And just to help you out a little bit where that is, where 414 Southeast 2nd Street is, it's at 2nd and Madison. So it's 4 blocks east of 2nd and Kansas. And it's right across the street north from what used to be the Hallmark plant. So it's a big old red brick warehouse. That's a fun place to see, even if you don't come to buy. Just come and look. But I guarantee you, if you come in, you won't leave without something.
I'm telling you, 13,000 square feet. I just can't imagine. I probably would have to leave the checkbook in the car.
And the building, a little bit about the building used to be, it was built in 1889, and it was the power station for the electric trolleys.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of history there, too.
So is there any signs of that still inside? Did you keep any of the original?
Oh, well, it's still it looks like an old warehouse inside. So a lot of that, it's
still got the cool appeal.
Yeah.
Which I imagine with all the things that are in there, is you won't even notice that. You'll be looking at so much stuff.
Well, I love it.
So right now, tell us again about the show that you have going.
We have Poetry to Art, which is up through May 14th, and that's Angela Lexow. And then we will have Bold and Bright starting in June and July, and we actually have a call for art out for it right now. So go to the website, www.warehouse414.com. You can find everything there.
So, and you can go to the registration tab and download the paperwork and everything. Right. And so I know myself, I didn't even realize that this was a shop that you could actually go into. So definitely you just have to check it out.
Come shopping. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m.
And then again, it's open during the
First Friday Art Walk.
Walk. And Chris and I were talking, and you can bring in photos, especially, I know, for people that have just bought a house. Tell us about
Well, if you've just purchased a house and you're not sure if your current furniture is going to work in a living room, take a photo of the living room, take some photos of your current furniture, bring it in, come shopping and show me the photos, and we'll talk about, well, that'll work there, and maybe you could put that in another room, and how about this to go with that? And, so just come in and talk to me. We'll brainstorm.
And just in case you missed that part, they actually design everything from home additions to insides.
Oh, anything. No job is too small. If you just want me to come in and pick colors, help you pick colors because you're just panicking that you don't know what color to paint the living room, I can help you with that, or I can design a whole home addition, room addition. So nothing too small and nothing too large.
And Chris, you've also got tickets for the Designer Show House?
Yes, you can come and buy your ticket for the Designer Show House, and it's $1 off. So the tickets are $10 and they're $11 at the door. And, the Designer Show House is the only fundraiser for child care aware throughout the year. So if you care about our children in Topeka, go to the show house and come get tickets at my place for $1 off and come shopping while you do it.
And again, to get to Chris's place, it is at
414 Southeast 2nd Street, and we're just 4 blocks east of 2nd and Kansas.
And right across from
the old Hallmark plant.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And the number there is 785-232-8008. Her website is www.warehouse414.com. You can also see some of her work at houzz.com, which is HOUZZ.com, and look for C. Grandmontagne.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find her there. I would imagine if you search Warehouse 414, you could probably find her easier.
Exactly.
And again, her hours are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And then once a month,
we're on the First Friday Art Walk, which is from 5:30 to 8:30. And there are like 60 locations across the city on the Art Walk. So if you haven't been on the Art Walk, you can come to our place and get an Art Walk map, and you'll know where all the locations are. And also there's a shuttle, and it can pick you up at our place at Warehouse 414 and then take you around most of the other locations.
And you can also shop for furnishings, jewelry, art, all of that on her website at warehouse414.com.
Correct.
So be sure and check it out. We need to get the word out about this place. This is
Come
amazing.
Shopping.
And again, this is Karey Brown, broker owner, Realty Executives, Preferred Advisors. And our location is 2220 Southeast 29th Street, Suite B in Topeka, which is just east of 29th in California. And our number is 785-783-4010. Feel free to visit our website at TopekaRealtyExecutives.com. And we would love to help you buy a house, put Chris to work designing the house.
Yeah.
And definitely keep her busy.
It's what I love to do.
I would imagine. I just cannot wait to check out your store. And for other people to check it out. Again, if you can't find something there in 13,000 square feet, I just don't know what to tell you. So. Thanks again, Chris.
Thanks, Karey. It was fun being here.
And you've been listening to Chris Grandmontagne. She is with Warehouse 414, and I'm Karey Brown. Join us again next Sunday at 11 a.m.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.